Hey YouTube, random chapstick today. Vanilla Mint. Today is January 3rd. On the 1st, I caught a cold. Earlier, I had no voice, so I'm not trying to sound sensual or anything. I just don't really have a voice right now. I did go out. I had a burst of energy today, and so checked my mailbox, dumped my trash, and went to the store. Got some hauls, tea bags, and sugar. And this was in my box, and this is from, oh, that's cute. This is from Ladybug Glow LLC. She contacted me on Instagram and asked me if I would be interested in receiving her shadows. She's a new brand, a small indie brand. If I'm not mistaken, she presses and makes the shadows herself. And so I was like, wow, like that's really kind of cool. And even just to be asked to receive product, excuse me, I was like, sure. And then she had said she hoped that I'm okay with pressed pigments. And I was like, my lids do not tolerate pressed pigments. And so then I was disappointed. So I went from like really excited to like, damn. So she said she had a matte black and a few other shades that were not pressed pigments, and would it be okay for her to send me those? So I said, okay, sure. And so I just took out what was in the package, and that's what this is. And she does have an Etsy store. Her name is Amanda. This is the note that she put in here. LadybugGlowEtsy.com. Thank you for trying my palette. She did create an entire palette. I will also put her Instagram below because she did sneak peeks of the palette. And so I'm not sure what shades are in here because I'm not able to try the entire palette. So I'm sorry, I'm scanning the note. So she sent me what was not pressed pigments for me to try. She says in the note, she wanted pigmented colors, not too expensive. Her goal was sleek, easy to store, travel, and hold. Is it upside down? Yes. So this is the box. And it is good. It says for 24 months after you open it. It does list which shades are pressed pigments. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 shades that are eyeshadows. And so I'm really glad that for those of us who are sensitive to pressed pigments, that she does list which ones are. Her palette launches on January 9th, 2 p.m. PST time on her Etsy shop, $30.95 USD. Pans are 22.65 millimeters. Plenty of product, but cost effective. There are no codes at this time. Amanda. And I will also list her email below if you have any business questions, because that's what she put on here. Any business questions, and then her email address. So let's open this up. I am wondering, is it the entire palette? So this is the box. This is the palette, which looks like the box, and so that's really cool. Oh, she did put the whole palette in here. Yes, I'm gonna have to figure it out. I will. This is pretty, and it is really colorful. So if you like neutrals, you know, you can use, you know, these shades here. If you like color, this is bright, and then you have some brights here. So since it is listed what shades are pressed pigments or eyeshadows, I will go ahead and swatch them all. I think I'm going to do the pressed pigments first, and the names are under the shadow. It doesn't have a funky smell. I caught a whiff, but it's not. It might be the halls that is falling around in my mouth right now. And it does say eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette, and I'm really glad that she does indicate that, because some brands don't. And I understand if it's an international brand, because international pressed pigments are considered eye safe, and so it may not always say if it is or it's not, because over there it is, and even though here it's not. So we are going to start. I'm looking at this Boom Awesome Cute 1999 Loud and Rad. That's these shadows here. And this one, Boom Awesome Cute 1999 Loud and Red. So these are the pressed pigments. These are the eyeshadows: Disco, Stunning, Wow, and Night. And so I am excited. These are dual chromes, because these to me look greenish and yellow. So look at this. You see how these two right here? So look at these two. So I am excited that 2 of the eyeshadows are dual chrome, because the only ones I can use in this palette are these 4 right here. And it's also exciting that there's a matte black. So even just using these 3, if I'm going to deepen it or use this for liner, I can. So all is not lost with this palette, and I am really glad to have received it so I can swatch it for you to look at. And another day I will do a look, but again, I can only use 1, 2, 3, 4 shades out of this palette, and so I will this will be a companion palette to something else. So we're going to take Boom, this orange here, and we're going to do forehead swatches because my arm is not the same shade as my face. And so for a better representation of what an eyeshadow is going to look on my lids, that's why I do forehead swatches. So now we're going into Awesome, this shade here that appears to be a lime green. And why bother trying to explain what it is when you will see it swatched? And also I'm not good at describing colors. That reminds me of a shade from the Mission XXX palette that looks really bright, but it blends similar to this one. And I like it because whatever you put near it, it makes it look grungy, and y'all know I love the grunge. And now we're going to go into Cute, this shade here. And I'm sorry if I'm not my, well, you know what, I'm not sorry, I'm not my bubbly self because I'm not well, but here I am still doing a video. I don't know when this landed in my mailbox, and so I didn't want to take too long. This is $19.99 to just do this video because, as I said, she is a new company. She reached out to me and a few other people to send PR, and so I don't remember if there were any stipulations like do a video, do a picture, or anything. But you know, new and upcoming brands, you know, I don't mind, this is loud, you know, doing a video or doing swatches or anything, you know what I mean, because I'm going to do that anyway, and so it's not like it's anything I normally wouldn't do. Loud is loud. That's this red right here. You know what, this is a cute palette. We're going to go into Red, this shade here, and this is the last press pigment. I am surprised, that's pretty, that she did send the whole palette knowing that I wasn't going to be able to use it, but I can understand why she did, because if she just would have sent this palette with just 4 shades in it, it's just like, okay, I have all these empty spaces and what can fit in there. So I do appreciate that, her doing that. So now we're going to go into Disco, this shade here. I am just surprised that, look at these 2 right here. Like, this is reminding me of something from the Nessa Myricks. But then look at that. So let's get it on the forehead and see. So this is Disco. And I am excited for this shade. I will say the pressed pigment ones do feel a little dry picking it up with the sponge tip. I don't know what it would feel like with a regular brush or my finger. I do not apply. That would be really cute together, but I can't use that one. What was I saying? This is Stunning, this shade here. What was I saying? That's nice. Look at that. That is a pretty dual chrome. If you have a dual chrome selection, you might already have something similar to this, and it is reminding me of the Nessa Myricks dual chrome. So now we're going to go into Wow, this shade here. I really don't remember what I was saying. I really honestly don't. I'll put it somewhere over here if I remember when I'm editing. That's really nice too. This would go nice with either one of these, like inner corner highlight. So this is like a red and a green. And this is like an orange and a tan or copper. And even this one here, Disco, which doesn't seem to change in the pan, but on my forehead, like this way it looks, I don't know, I guess it's just a silver blue. Because here it just looks silverish, but then here there's like a blue tint to it. The last one in here is Night, which is a matte black. I am really glad there is a matte black in here. This one feels dry too. All the pressed pigments, of course, in here, well, not of course, because all pressed pigments are not matte, but all the pressed pigments in here are matte, and they feel dry the same as this one does. This one is night, and this one is also a matte. So here is the palette swatched across my forehead. Yeah, I do think it's a pretty palette. Where I would live would be from Rad over to here, but I cannot use Rad because it's a pressed pigment. But these here, I am excited about. And I know some people are happy to have a black in the palette, and some people are like, you can get a black anywhere. But I am glad that it's in here because this and this are really bright, bold colors. If you want to go neutral, you can use these three right here. But this, as I said, you can use this for a liner for your upper lash line or to deepen up your outer corner. And so it is handy to me to have a black in the palette because I don't have to go elsewhere. I don't have to use a liquid liner or pick up another palette for a black shadow. And so this will be it for this video. Let me know if this was helpful to you. And again, there are no codes or anything. I have not done a look with, you know, the 4 that I can use yet, but I will say again, these 3 shimmers, where am I? These 3 shimmers, they do feel really smooth. They're not chunky. They went on really easily. All of the pressed pigment ones are matte, and this is a matte. They did feel dry swiping the sponge tip in there, but that doesn't say it's going to apply dry or that it won't pick up on a brush. And so it's one of those things where you would really just need to try it to see. And for, what was it, $30.95 USD, I don't think that's bad for a palette. And if this is your color story, absolutely. And now that I'm looking at it again, I kind of see what she did here. You can put this matte down and put this on the lid, even though that's a dual chrome. And because this one turns into a greenish, you can put this on the outer corner on your crease and put this on the lid. So I see how she kind of paired it together for some of the shades where you can just group it into like a quick, easy look. This, I think, depending on your undertone, would be a good transition shade. This is a good transition shade for me because I do have a warm golden undertone. And shades like this one, when I put them as transition, whatever's on my lid, whatever's on the edge, it does turn into like a grungy mustard tone. And so I do really like shades like this one. And so again, I will have her information down below, her Instagram, her Etsy shop, and her email address. If you have questions about the palette, you can ask her. But again, just to be clear, out of this 10-pan palette, is it 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? Yeah, y'all, I'm out of it. Out of this 10-pan palette, 6 of them are pressed pigments. And I keep saying that because I know I'm not the only one whose lids do not tolerate pressed pigments. And so I don't know if she sells them as singles, like if you just wanted to pick up the eyeshadows, these 4 right here. So that would be a question you can ask her. And again, I'll have her Instagram down below, and so you can also message her there. I am gonna go yeah, this little gardener in my throat is just having way too much fun, like raking against the inside of my esophagus. But thank you for being here. I hope you were able to hear me okay, and I hope this is helpful to you. And I am excited for these right here. The dual chrome shifts in that surprised me when I was looking in the palette, like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, and this is a good color story, I think. So yeah, I'm really gonna go. Thank you for being here. If you're new here and you enjoyed this, go ahead and subscribe. I do have a lot of playlists with a lot of different things. I do title them accordingly, so it's easy to find what you want to watch if you're looking for something in particular. And also, I am getting back to doing more swatches in 2023 because it's not about a particular palette, it's about the color story. And so I feel it is important to show the color story. So if you don't have that palette, you can say, oh, I have that green, I have this dual chrome, I have a black somewhere else, I have an orange, I have a red, you know what I mean? And so you can just go through whatever's in your collection to put together a color story if you like this entire color story. And yeah, for the 3rd time, I think, I'm really gonna go now, and you will see me in the next video. Thanks.